Happy 8 p.m. everyone. Happy Monday. First of all, I do want to give a quick shout out to Juicy Goosey and Sagar for being on here early, bright and early. So, yes, today I feel like this is going to be a good live stream. I just feel it. I have thoughts, and I want to thank you for being here, whoever is on right now. Sage, Brian Tran, good to see you on. Thank you for being here. So today's live stream, I hope that it will be an opportunity for some of us to just reflect on our life, think about, how do we want to live our life? Think about how do we be happy? Are you happy with your life right now? And I just want this to be a very open, vulnerable conversation about life. Like, let's just sit down, let's pause for a second of all the chaos that's going on in our lives, whether it's with school, work, family, friends, whatever is going on in your life. Let's just pause for a second and let's just reflect. Like, how is your life going right now? How do you feel? Do you feel like life is meaningful? Do you feel like life is hectic? Do you find purpose? So, yeah, I think the question I want to start off with, or the thought, was, wow, goodness, this conversation can go really deep and it could get very confusing for some people. So anyway, my girl was asking me, she said, okay, so first of all, this is going to get into a little bit of beliefs, personal beliefs. So whether you believe in some sort of religion or not, in a way, we all have our beliefs. And some people believe there is a God. Some people believe there is not a God. Some people just have no idea or just I'm not sure. So, yeah, there's a question of is our life purpose given to us before we are born, or is our life purpose created after, or do we create our own life purpose? And I think, in my opinion, this is for us to make that decision. And if you are religious, then, or you have like a religious background, then you might already have an answer. You might think that your God has already created a purpose of your life in a way. As for myself, I do not consider myself religious. Anyway, my girl asked me this question, like, do you believe your purpose was given to you? Like, you had a purpose before you were born, or you created this purpose afterwards? And this was a really fascinating question that I never really thought about until she asked this question maybe like a week ago. And I'm like, oh, huh. I'm not 100% sure, but if I were to guess, like just my gut feeling for myself, we all get to define what are our truths. What is your truth? My truth is that in this moment, my truth is that in a way, when we were born into this world, this is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's true, but for me, it is. When we're born into this world, there is no inherent quote unquote purpose in our lives. Therefore, it is our responsibility to choose what our purpose is. Again, this is just my belief. Doesn't mean it's right for you. This is just what I believe. Okay. So having answered that, it made me realize that if I want to create purpose in my life, or like if I do create my own purpose in my life, that my life is up to me. Like, whether I make it meaningful or not so meaningful, whether I stay at home and kind of just complain about my life and like, oh man, life sucks. I don't know what to do. What is my purpose in life? What I realize, if that's my belief, then I just got to go out there and create my purpose. Like, my purpose that I've created so far for myself is to help other people build up their self-esteem, because that's something I struggle with myself. That's one piece of it. Another part of my purpose in my life is to just be happy, to be joyful. That's it. It's just be happy. Connect with people, spend time with I'll call her my girlfriend, my girl. Like, to just enjoy life. So I'll tell you right now, I look at other people's lives and sometimes I get a little bit jealous, isn't the right word, maybe envious. Like, sometimes I'm like, how do people be so chill with their life? Like, how do some people just like joke around all the time? They're having fun, because I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit of a serious personality. Like, I don't like mess around and joke around like that, like on that deep, like no F's given, just like, mess around stuff. So like, I'm a very more like reserved person in a way. I still have fun. I'm still happy, but I'm more reserved. And sometimes I'm wondering, you know, is there a part of me that can be like, you know what, just stop trying to like get over yourself and just like go have fun. Just like do random stuff, do stupid things, responsibly stupid things. So yes, I have experienced that too. But I'm wondering, like, my question within myself is, am I that kind of person, to kind of be wild and crazy and just do, random stuff because it's really fun? Or is that not me? Am I actually just a really chill person, mellow? Is this who I really am? I don't really know. And this is part of life. We got to figure out who we are. So that's my little intro spiel. Yeah. Hopefully that was good. I don't know about you, but that made sense to me. So I hope that made sense to you. And I want to go back to the question of the day, and I do want to check out like your comments too. Let's talk about this. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on life? Like, seriously, what are your thoughts on life? Why are we here? Why are you here in this world? Like, I don't know. Like, this is one of those questions that I think about all the time. And, that's partially just me. And then I remember talking to other people. Like, I'm going to point out Noah Grossman, who is a cast member on Smosh. This guy has millions of followers. I had the honor of interviewing him on this channel way back, like 2 years ago. And I remember asking him, in a way, like, what is your purpose of your life? And he's just like, kind of like, just to have fun. Like, he doesn't think about, I don't think he thinks about what is the purpose of life. He just does. He just has fun. That's it. But like, we're all created in a different way, and in a way, I think, in a way, for me, it's a gift, it's a curse to think about what is the purpose of life, to be so reflective on the purpose of life, because other people, they don't even think about what the purpose of life is. They just have fun. And that's it. They don't think about, what is my purpose? No, it's just, let's just have fun. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, for me, it's a gift because I can self-reflect. I can help other people, but it's a curse because I might be overthinking my life and my purpose of just having fun. What if I just stop thinking about having fun and I just have fun? Does that make sense? Like, don't overthink it. Alrighty. Let's see here. I will briefly, before I continue and actually answer the topic of today, which is, how do you want to live your life? I am going to read through some comments. I see Pika Charge on, Sage, JCY Turtle. I'm going to call you Turtle. Jimmy, good to see you on. What's up? And who else? Brooks, what is up? Meme Master, good to see you on. Let's see here. Jimmy says, I hate how people treat me. They call me gay. That's not very nice. And we could talk about that too. And like, there's so much to talk about in life. Goodness, we could talk about all these topics. Like, we could focus on one comment and talk about it for hours. We could talk about this whole idea of people calling us names and what should we do about it. Sometimes it's annoying, sometimes it's hurtful. And I want to talk about that because I have a friend of mine, or acquaintance, connection, who recently became viral. Like, he blew up, and he's been getting a lot of positive comments and also negative comments. People calling him racist, or not racist, people making racist remarks like, why should people listen to you? You're such a con artist, things like that. And then I'm like, oh, wow, it's cool to, well, it's not cool, but like, it's kind of cool to see that he's being attacked. Why is that cool? Because I myself have been attacked too. The more you become a public figure in a way, the more people will start to attack you. And is it personal? I don't think it's personal. I think people will always just find someone to target. Like, anyone who's successful, they're going to try to target and bring them down because, for whatever reason, jealousy, whatever it is. So yeah, like that's another reason why I also have, for my reviews on my page, it's like either 1-star reviews or 5-star reviews. 1-star reviews are people trying to bring me down and that don't necessarily really care in a way, like the reviews were really random. Like I couldn't hear him speak, like okay, that has no, that's not me, that's the audio system. So anyway, alrighty. Meme Master, what's up? Meme Master says, I hate school. Sorry to hear that. School is school. And if you're in school, my thing is just do the best you can to make school meaningful. If you're going to be there anyway, well, like instead of complaining about it, just do the best to make it as positive of an experience as possible. Okay. I'm not saying that's going to change school and make it, so exciting, but I think there are ways to make school more meaningful. So I think that's where I would focus my energy if I were in your position, but I get it. School sucks sometimes. Let's be real. Sorry, school. But like, I mean, I love school. I hate school. It's like a love-hate relationship, you just gotta do the best that you can. All right, Hamburglar, what's up? What's the riskiest behavior you have ever partaken in? Riskiest behavior I've ever partaken in? Let's see. I'm not intentionally, like, I'm actually thinking. I'm honestly a pretty mellow person. Riskiest behavior. I'm laughing because there's a thought that comes to my mind. I'm open to sharing this story. I will share the story after I get through comments, just because I want to make sure I get into it. Okay. So the story is going to take a few minutes to share. That's why. All right. So I'll hold that for now. I'll copy and paste it so I don't forget. Hamburglar. Okay. Yeah, that is. Alrighty. Do I believe in God? So for me, I believe in the universe. I believe there is a higher power. Again, this doesn't mean it's the right thing for you. It just means this is for me. I'm not trying to impose my beliefs on you. I don't do that. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. I believe there's a higher power, which I call the universe. Or at least I would like to believe. I'm not 100% sure. So that's where I'm at. And but anyway, I am grateful. I'm appreciative for the life that I have. And I think the quote unquote universe, if it exists, whatever higher power, if it exists, and I'm just grateful. That's how I run my life. All right. Phil Lore, what's up? Good to see you on. Hamburglar says, do you think it's okay to say the N-word because it takes the power? Takes the power the word has away? Interesting thought. My initial response is no, I don't think it's okay to say the N-word. But let's dig into this a little bit more because it takes the power away. I think overall my thought is I think it's inappropriate to use because the N-word is a derogatory term, and maybe you might have a point that saying it over and over will kind of quote unquote take the power away, but I don't think that that's how our society perceives it. So I don't think that repeating the N-word over and over again is going to support. I think that being mindful of the meaning is important, and I don't think we should be using it or any racist or derogatory terms. Juicy says, I'm soon to be a ninth grader when my grades start to matter and GPA starts over, and I don't know where quite to go with my precious life. Please help. All right. Juicy, the good news is that you're still young. Even me, I'm still young. I am 29 years old, young. My point being is you don't need to have your life quite figured out right now. Right now, if you're a ninth grader or whatever grade you're in, if you're middle school, high school, especially, know that you're still massively young and that you have plenty of time to kind of figure out your life. And honestly, if you don't know what to do or like why grades matter exactly, just do the best that you can. And like, that's it, because you do know that grades will, if you get good grades, that's going to support you into getting college. If your grades aren't great, that will hurt your chances to getting to college and, options. So overall, do your best. That's my opinion. And for me, when I look back at high school, even though I myself was confused, I was like, okay, I get, grades get me into college, but why does that really even matter? And maybe it doesn't. But what I think does matter in hindsight, like me looking back at my high school, is the fact that I tried, the fact that I pushed myself and built up some sort of resiliency, and I built up some sort of discipline to push myself when I didn't want to do things. Because that skill, in my opinion, is probably one of the most valuable skills that you can get from grade school. Is resiliency, is that ability to keep pushing through painful things that suck, even if, especially when you don't want to do them, but you get to. Because if you build up that resiliency at a young age, like, it will make you successful. Like, really, if you suck at life, if you suck at everything, but you are massively resilient and you have that discipline, you can get through any challenge you want, and you're going to be successful. Like, you will learn the skill you need to be successful. So that's my thought on that. So keep pushing yourself, even if it's challenging. And yeah, I mean, there's so many different. It's not just about pushing hard. It's also, there's other elements to life, self-compassion, learning different things, perspectives. We can go on and on about this, but in summary, keep pushing yourself to be the best that you can. Push yourself outside your comfort zone, because that's where growth starts. And when you develop that, that being comfortable with being uncomfortable, yeah, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Once you develop that skill, you could pretty much do anything that you want. Alrighty. Turtle says, we are here in this world to keep humanity going onwards. Our purpose to serve life, to keep it striving. Our purpose is to learn from the wrongdoings of our ancestors and use what we have learned to protect the future of our children, your children, and our children's children. Nice. I like that. And again, I think in a way, like, I like it. I resonate with what you're saying, Turtle. And, we all have our own perspective of what life is about. What is Hamburger says, whom is your favorite character in Space Jam? That's so random. I love that. Space Jam. Oh my goodness. Wait, did they come out with a new Space Jam? I feel like they did, didn't they? Didn't they do like a, I gotta search it up. I'm out of the loop. I thought they didn't they do like a what was that called? I don't know what's called. Kind of like when they bring it back. I mean, I remember the original movie. His favorite character. Well, I mean, I'm going to go with Michael Jordan because it's Michael Jordan, Like, that guy's pretty legit. But if I had to choose like a character, I would probably go with Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Sage says, how did you become like this? How did I become like this? I think the short answer is all the things that happened to me in my life. And I'm one of those people who constantly reflect on life. Like, I'm constantly thinking every single day. I think about life. I think about, how do I better myself? I think about, where am I not good or strong at in my life? Because I have a lot of things that, I'm definitely not perfect in. So how did I become like this? It's all the little things, the good things and the bad things that have happened in my life. All the insecurities I had growing up, all the failures, all the times where I want to give up on my life, all the support that I got, also all the good stuff, from my brother, from my parents, the fact that I'm lucky enough to live in California, just, yeah, life is crazy. That's all I gotta say. Like, I wish that I should just make a shirt that says life is crazy, because I say that phrase so often I say that to my girl. Like I say that often to myself. Like life is crazy. Like there's so many different perspectives and ways we can look at it. Uh, yeah, goodness, I could talk about life forever. Like there's way too many things to talk about. All right. Meme Master says, I don't know what I want to do, want to be when I grow up. I feel like I don't have any direction. I don't know how important liking my job is to my happiness. So, Meme Master, look, there are so many different ways that you can live your life that, like, I don't know, it's weird. Life is weird. Life is crazy. Like, it's up to us. Like, how do you want to live your life? The good thing is, I think one of the best things that we could develop at a young age, I talked about resiliency, right? I think something even better, even stronger, or yeah, is self awareness. Self awareness, it sounds very simple, but it's actually kind of challenging. Like it takes time to build up our self awareness. Self awareness is, um, it's the ability to, yes, be aware of yourself, but like to the point where Meme Master or anyone, if you ask yourself, what makes me happy? And you start playing with ideas. Does a job that I really like make me happy, or does having a bunch of free time to do what I want to do make me happy? And then like just being very present with how you actually feel. Like, you know what? My gut says that I will be happy if I have a job that actually makes me happy. You know, like as opposed to I will be happy if I didn't have a job and I just travel the whole entire world. Like it's just playing around, like feeling yourself out and understanding yourself in that way. So, anyway, back to Meme Master. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, that is okay. And like this is where self exploration, like self awareness, is very important. It's like you're not gonna know until you actually just start doing slash thinking about these things. It takes time, it takes effort. It just doesn't come overnight. That's my experience. So if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, that's okay. Just start thinking about how do you want your life to look like. Like think about your work. Think about, do you want to work 0 hours or 4 hours a week, or do you want to work 60 hours a week, of course doing something that you enjoy or love? Or do you want to, let's say, travel the world, but in order to travel the world you need to be working a job, um, that maybe you don't like so much, but at least it's fulfilling your passion. It's giving you money so you can do whatever you love. So everyone has their own life. I think back on my best friends in high school right now. All three of us, we have different lives. I myself, I I have a very different life than most people, I would say. Like my life is very flexible. I don't work a typical job. I don't have a boss. I am my own boss. And my hours are my own hours. Like I kind of like the freedom, and I almost want to say I need the freedom. I don't want someone else telling me when I have to work, what I have to do. So that's me. I would feel very trapped if I had to do a job. However, with another one of my best friends who is working at a job, um, I mean, she doesn't really like her job right now, but let's say she did like her job. If she liked her job, she has a boss, she goes to work, but she gets money so she can go travel and go on vacation and things like that. And if that's what makes her happy, then perfect. Then that's all you need. You get to decide for yourself, what do you want. Anyway, direction wise, like what do you want to be? You could be anything. You could be a professional video game player. I say that because I feel like that's like a popular thing that people like to do now. You can be a artist. You could be a musician, you can be an actress, you could be an actor, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, you could be uh whatever you want. It's like, just go for it. Go for it. That's it. Test it out, see what might interest you. And honestly, I believe that there is always a way to turn something that seems like it's not going to make any money into money. Like, what's a good example? A great example is the YouTube, like especially in today's age with the internet. So there's that there's a YouTube channel. You know what? I'll keep it simple. Toy review. You know, I forgot his name. I'm blanking. That's whatever. That little kid who does a toy review. You know, he makes millions of dollars reviewing toys. Like, what? You know, like you could make the one example I want to give you is there's this one channel, and there's a bunch of random channels, but this one in particular is a channel about racing marbles, little marbles. And you know, like he creates these tracks, and he like names these marbles into different teams, and it's like marble relays. Like, there's a channel on that, and he probably makes thousands of dollars doing that because he has millions of views. My point is, like, you can probably make money doing anything as long as you're creative and create a plan around it. So there we go. Yes. Hamburger says, to be honest, 9th grade doesn't matter. 10th and after is when it counts. Ooh, I'm not sure about that. I think 9th does count because it factors into your cumulative GPA, at least here in California and probably majority of the United States. And my guess is the world too. But Hamburger, you might be onto something. I kind of remember 9th grade not counting or something like that. I don't quite remember. Yeah. Anyway. Keanu, good to see you on. Hamburglar, I'm gonna pass on that question. That's a pretty interesting question about God staying in heaven because he lives in fear of what he's created. That's beyond my scope. Salty Fresses, do you think okay. Repeat questions. Phil Lore, how's my day? My day was okay. It was good. Like, I'm having a great day right now just because I feel present, connected with all of you here. So I'm good in that sense. Roskid, what's going on? Roskid says, recently I have done some serious reflection. My current position in life is a pivotal place. Other may say the big picture, saying you're young and that this doesn't define your destination. However, I disagree because the habits I build and place right now will define my destination, all built through self-awareness, willpower, and discipline. Furthermore, each decision I can consciously make with my time, respecting or disrespecting my time, I'll reflect whether or not my mental construction will result. My attempt to cope with such pressure has been to write poetry, programming, sports. I would say friends, though. I don't explain the full story even to my closest friends, I'm guessing. Okay, so I'm guessing you're still typing, Raskid. Good to see you on, by the way. I want to talk about this real quick. You know, I did say earlier, you know, if you're in middle school, high school, and grade school, you are still young. Yes, this is true. Also, Raskin, you're making a really good point here, which is the decisions you make right now do make an impact in your life. Like, I remember like sitting in a classroom one time, and the students at this particular school, this is like years ago, last year. The students at this particular school, they were so disengaged, like they didn't care about school, and just sitting there, I had this vibe, this energy. By the way, I'm not saying everyone in that class. Like, I could tell just by looking at students, I could guess, you know, doesn't mean it's for sure, but I can guess who in that classroom was going to become successful and who in that classroom was not going to become successful, or they would end up, you know, living a life that is whatever, mediocre, or they'd be getting into trouble, jail, stuff like that. Again, it's not a promise because people can change, but people only change when they understand and they're self-aware enough to understand the situation that they're in. Most people are not self-aware to that extent. So my point being, going back to Rasket, is that yes, the decisions you make right now, the way you discipline yourself right now, can and will very, very likely impact your life. So that's why it's so important at a young age, or it doesn't matter how old you are, but especially at a young age, um, to start kind of disciplining yourself and pushing yourself towards the right direction, as opposed to choosing the easier route or the lazy route and just letting life happen to you and see where it goes. And also, yeah, that's what I gotta say. But also, don't beat yourself up if you're stuck and you don't know what to do. Just do your best and keep pushing yourself to be better every single day. One little step at a time. That's what I got. Alrighty. Hamburger says, when I was doing notes for my psychology class, I read the people with an IQ lower than 60, clinically diagnosed with mental retardation, live a more happy life. Why do you think this is, Richard? Hamburger, that's a cool question. So first thing I want to, again, the comment or the question is, Hamburger says that in his psych class, he read that people with IQ lower than 60, clinically or diagnosed with mental retardation, tend to be more happy than people with, let's say, an average IQ. Why is that? First things first, I do want to, this might be related. So for my friends who live in the United States, just like me, what is interesting is I don't think United States is that happy of a country. I don't know the statistics of it, but I do know, for example, if we compare happiness, or maybe let's use depression as a measurement, depression rate in the United States is much, much higher than, let's say, a country like the Philippines, where the Philippines, it's a much lower socio-economic country, but they tend to be more happy. Why is that? I think, going along with, talking about IQ lower than 60, I think in a way, it kind of reminds me like ignorance is bliss. Like, it's when your life is more simple, when you keep things more simple, I think that creates happiness in a way. Yeah, I don't. This is all just, I don't have scientific backing. This is just opinion. So for me, the main things that create happiness in life, if I were to, just reflect on that, like, it would be community, making sure you have a good positive community around you. So that's one. What else contributes to happiness? Purpose, fulfillment. So things that make you feel fulfilled. But that wouldn't really support this whole idea of, people with IQ lower than 60 being happier. But I would almost say just being simple. I don't know. Yeah, you got me there. That's a great question, though. I think there's a lot of great just thoughts around that. All right. Sage says, if you had a job besides YouTube, then which job would you have? So Sage, I don't know if you know this. My actual job is not YouTube. My actual job is I am a youth inspirational speaker. I go to schools, across the United States, mostly in California, and I do inspirational talks at like school assemblies, things like that. So that is what I do. And if I were doing something besides that and YouTube, I feel like it would be something around counseling or supporting other people. Like, just, it would still be revolved around helping people build up their self-esteem. Like, that's just a core that I've created for myself of what's meaningful to me. Yeah. Meme says, thanks for the advice. You seem wise beyond your years. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And, I'm very grateful that I have the wealth of knowledge I have around me. I'm not saying I'm a genius. It's just like, I'm grateful that I have my brother. I'm grateful that I have a lot of mentors. I'm grateful that I have, this thing called the internet and podcasts and books. I don't consider myself the most well-learned person. I have not read that many books / podcasts compared to other peers. But I am someone who constantly on a daily basis tries to grow myself because I think that is very, very important. I used to kind of hate learning in a way. Like I hated reading the newspaper every single day and magazines. I thought was very boring. And today, I think I've started to build a little bit more of a habit of learning and understanding human behavior, understanding just how people are, and just thinking. I think too much in a way, but it's a gift and curse, All right. Turtle says, we are here to give those a purpose. We are here to lead. We are here to cower it away. We are here to love. Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hamburger says, how dare you insult Gel's marble run? Yeah. But that's funny. I know I'm guessing you're just kidding, but yeah, I definitely was not insulting. Actually, I was impressed by that channel. And but I mean it's random, right? Like it's genius. I love how they did that. And look, I found myself watching several of those marble run videos, which is, I don't know, it was pretty cool. I'm just like, man, how do people come up with like, how do you make a business off of this? But hey, why not? Rasket said, oh, did I? Okay, I read that part. Sage, thank you very much for saying I hope you get 10K. Flaming Raptor, good to see you on. Says, hi, Mr. Crow. Looking forward to meeting with you. I'll try to join back later. I have a Chinese project due at 9. Awesome. Good luck. Turtle says, gotta go. I've missed like 4 minutes already, but bye. Mom wants me off and doesn't like me listen to this quote unquote motivational speaker. Got mad at me, annoyed for watching. All good. Take care. Raskin says, I don't believe I am intentionally beating myself up. It just seems that my inaction causing me to fall behind has created this inevitably constructing monster in the shadow. So, yeah, I think my belief is, I think one of the most important pieces, one of the like pillars of self-improvement and happiness and joy is what's self-compassion. So if you're doing your best to not intentionally beat yourself up, but you still feel that whatever, that shame or that guilt, that is still that like subconscious deeper part of us still beating ourselves up. So one thing that I myself to this day am still working on is self-compassion. It's this idea that when I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like for example, today is a good example. I did not wake up. Well, I had a really weird sleep schedule today. It wasn't my typical, go to sleep at 10 p.m., wake up at 5 a.m., which makes me feel good. So I woke up really early, but then I was really tired. So I went back to sleep and then I woke up later and it was just a mess. And then I went to the gym super late. I didn't feel like going to the gym. So those kind of things don't make me feel good because I'm not in sync with my flow, what makes me feel good. So one thing I'm learning is self-compassion. It's, hey, Richard, you screwed up. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. It's okay. Keep pushing forward. Give yourself a break this time. Keep moving forward. By the way, for anyone who struggles with habits, a little quick quote that I heard from my girl who loves to read. And she said, it's from the book Atomic Habits. And pretty much she said is, if you do something you're not supposed to do, just don't let it happen more than once. So at most, you can mess up once, but the next day you got to go back on track. Now, hopefully that's just like a random tool that might help. So let's say you were supposed to go to sleep by 9 p.m., and you messed up, you went to sleep at whatever, 10:30 today. The idea is just don't let it happen twice in a row. The point is you want to just create habits or like ways, strategies, tools to keep your positive habits going. So that's all. All right. Mitchell says, I'm here at 1 in the morning when I should be asleep, but I can't sleep because I'm having a panic attack. I'm behind all my work from being sick. My second semester, I'm doing horrible, 2.9 GPA, and I feel awful. I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to disappoint my parents. I have no motivation. I've dug myself such a pit that I can't get out of. I don't know what to do, and I'm so lost. Hold on. I do good on all my classes, but I do horrible on tests. I always feel so confident, then I do so bad that I beat myself up, figuratively, literally. So I just give up because it feels not worth it. And let's see. I have no motivation to change them. Okay. Mitchell, thank you for sharing that. First of all, you're not alone. And again, this goes back to self-compassion, Mitchell. It's like, Mitchell, I hope you realize, like, I just want to let you know, I've been in that very, very similar situation. I almost want to say exact same situation, but I don't want to over exaggerate. But like, no, literally, my senior year in high school, Mitchell. I have a feeling that you saw that video on my YouTube channel where I talk about bad grades and, when we lose that motivation, how do you get back up? Yeah, my senior year, I got completely burnt out. My grades were dropping. I started getting a lot of Fs in my classes, and I legit did not know what to do. I'm like, there's no way I can make up my grades. This is stupid. Like I don't know what to do with my life. My life seems like it's going downhill, and it's pretty much like you said. I dug myself in such a big hole. There's no way I can get my grades back up to Bs, which is like kind of is supposedly like that's supposed to be my minimum that I'm ever supposed to get. Family expects A's, but B's are at least better than F's. C's are not completely not. I mean, B's aren't supposed to be allowed, but like because I was struggling, B's were supposed to be the bottom. So anyway, I got F's. Whatever midterm grades or whatever, or halfway through the trimester, they tell you like progress reports. And I'm like, what the heck do I do? Like, I feel so stuck. And like, long story short is if your grades aren't very good, how do you improve it is number one, give yourself a break. Like, be kind to yourself. No need to beat yourself up. Beat yourself up. Wait, what? Beat yourself up. Okay. Sorry. My brain's all over the place right now. So there's no need to beat yourself up. It's like, step one is just breathe. Just know that everything is going to be okay. Like if your grades aren't where they need to be, it's okay. I get it. It's a lot of stress. We have this expectation. Other people, our parents have this expectation. We might not get into a certain school or whatever it is, but the stress that we have on ourselves, in some ways it is helpful, but in many ways it's not helpful. And in this case, it's one of those cases where it's not being helpful because you're so overwhelmed with that feeling, that burden of your emotions that you feel stuck in that hole. And those emotions of, that burden of feeling like you're stuck, you can't get out of it. It's going to keep you in that hole until you breathe and then let the emotions go, just let them pass, let go of the pressure and start from square one. What can I do right now? This is after you finish breathing and like after you let that go. Step one is what's the first thing I could do right now to start improving my grade again to the best of my ability. I don't expect to get A pluses in my classes because that's unrealistic, but what can I do right now to start improving my grades just a little bit? How do I get back on track? That's all. Okay. One little step at a time. And I know it sounds crazy. You're up at 1 a.m. right now, but it's important. I know this, what I'm about to say is going to sound crazy, but it is important for you to take breaks. I know it seems like you don't have time to take breaks because that's what school feels like all the time, but it's important for us to take breaks. Like take a little chill pill, like just chill. Like I know it sounds crazy, but it's what we got to do. Like seriously, when I was in my stress, when I got burnt out, I was I was pretty much on the verge of like breaking up, ending my relationship with my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend girlfriend at the time. My grades were dropping. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I was a hot mess. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And I remember the school counselor, I didn't choose to go there. A teacher kind of pushed me and, called me up to the office or whatever, because she noticed I was super disconnected and failing my classes. And the counselor was like, Richard, you're just burnout. You just need to give yourself a break. And that's what I did. I gave myself a little break. I stopped being so hard on myself. And from that moment, my grades slowly started to improve. I asked my teachers for help. They understood my situation, and slowly my grades did improve. They weren't perfect, but I got most of my grades up from like F's, D's to like B's, C's. I think I still had an F and a D in a class, but still, I mean, that's awful for my family standards, but my grades improved because I took little baby steps. So that's what you get to do. Okay, enough. Hopefully I was supportive. I do want to move on because we were on that question for a while. Alrighty. Yeah. Hey, brother says esteem, then, oh, wait. Okay. Hamburger says, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the first need to happiness is physiological: food, water, shelter. After that is achievement. After that is achieved, the next step is safety, then love, then belonging, then self-esteem, then reaching the final step of self-actualization. Do you believe these steps are true to achieving happiness? So my opinion is, I believe the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which on the bottom, is physiological needs, food, water, and then second level is safety, and then after that it's love, and then what's the next one? I'm missing one. Love and belonging, and then self-esteem, and then self-actualization. Do I believe that's true? My gut feeling is, in general, I think it's a great guideline. Is it perfectly true? I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like it's a good guideline, but it's not 100% true. That's my gut feeling. That's kind of how I live my life, on gut feelings. That's just how I roll. I know it's very scientifically proven to not completely work, but I mean, it works for me. It does. Anyway, is that the truth to achieving happiness? I think, again, it's a guideline. I think it's very important that we have our physiological needs met, that we feel safe, that we feel love. So yes, it's a good guideline, but I think what's true to achieving happiness is it's self-awareness. I guess in a way it's self-actualization. So yeah, self-actualization is, so in a way, I do believe it is somewhat true. Like, self-actualization to me is this idea of self-awareness. But what I do want to mention is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a triangle, right? And you got to fulfill the bottom one. That's the most important. Then this one, then this one, this one. One thing I want to mention is that I think for me, the part that I'm a little, my own perspective of it is, you can build self-actualization or self-awareness and build yourself that self-esteem. You can build while trying to fulfill your other needs of safety, physiological, love, acceptance, that kind of stuff, self-esteem. Like, these are all things you can build at the same time. So that's my only, I guess, thought. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a step-by-step. Do it all at the same time. Alrighty. What's up, Just Incredible? Good to see you on. Things are going. I'm gonna say things are going well. Yeah, things are going well. Today was a little bit of an off day, but it's not a bad thing. It's like to me, it was an opportunity to grow and learn, and be a better person. That's all. Anthony Martinez, good to see you on. Let's see. Hamburger. I'm not familiar with that. With Jack and Jill, with Adam Sandler. Surprisingly, because I've watched a lot of Adam Sandler movies. Nas Kid, good to see you on. Ray Walker says, is it a bad strategy to take a step away from the situation to gather ourselves? Ray, I think that's a great strategy. Of course, it depends on the strategy, but because you're asking that question, it it tells me that whatever situation you're going through is probably a good idea. Like sometimes, yes, Ray Walker, what you're doing right now, or that thought of stepping away from a situation, what that is you are choosing to, what is that? Respond rather than react. Because let's say you're getting angry with someone, like you're heated, you're super angry, and someone's like, I'm so angry, and like they start fist fighting, right? You throw a punch at someone, that's reacting. Responding is doing exactly what you're doing. Noticing, oh wow, I feel kind of mad right now. I feel like punching this guy in the face. Responding is, hold on, is that a good idea? Let me take a step back because I'm really mad right now. Let me take a step back, gather myself together, and then let me determine once I gather myself up if that's a good idea. That's responding. Ray, I think that's a really responsible thing to do. So keep at it. Alrighty. Justin says, hey, Richard, if you don't mind me asking, don't answer if you don't feel like it, but where in California do you live in? I'm most likely going to LA in either March or April. We should meet up. Let's see. Justin, I am open. I am, so here's a little disclaimer thing. I am cautious when meeting up with people, not because of you, but rather just the whole, like, minors. It depends how old you are too, because I work with a lot of students. So for the most part, forgive me, I don't quite remember how we met. If we met at a school, or I'm pretty sure we met online, or like through YouTube and stuff. But public spaces should be okay. But if it is a minor that I met in with connection through a school, usually like with parent or whatever. Anyway, whatever. We could talk about that more later. I do live near LA though. I'm in Orange County, which is the county right below LA. So depending on where LA, I'm about like 45 minutes away, is what I would say. Yep. Alrighty. Raskin says, oh, okay. Response to that. What's up, Anthony? Keanu says, if you were to bring one thing to an island, what would it be? I was going to go for like a smart answer, like what would it be? A cell phone a satellite phone? A satellite phone that you can contact people anywhere in the world. That's a smartphone. That's a smart answer. But what would I bring? Let's assume that no weird stuff like that. Like that I had to live on an island. What's the one thing I would bring? Yeah. Okay, this is definitely not the best answer, but honestly, like my first thought was water, like just like fresh water. I'm pretty sure you can make fresh water, but yeah, like there's a philosophical question, which is if you got stranded on an island and you had to live there for the rest of your life, what would you do? Like would you go crazy? Would you feel like life sucks, or would you make the most of it? And you're stranded on an island by yourself. What do you do? What I would do if I got stranded on an island by myself and I had to live there for an indefinite amount of time, I think I would probably complain about it a little bit and be really sad. I'm like, why am I here? This sucks. And then I'd get over it and start trying to create purpose out of it, living my own life. I would journal. I would probably do a lot of brainstorming and thinking about life and the purpose of it. And yeah, that's a tough one though. Like thinking about that question kind of scares me. Yeah, but it's a good one. I think it's good to take time to reflect on these random questions. They have a lot of value. Juicy Goosey says, I have a friend who struggles with porn. Please make a video about how to get away from it. Please, it may change a man's life forever. Nice one. I That's a really interesting one. So I've thought about making a topic like that, and I'll still consider it. The reason why I struggle with it is just the whole like concept with like working with schools, and some schools are very like kind of touchy feely about like, oh, whoa, I don't like you making videos about that, So that's something that I'm mindful of. I know some other speakers have gotten some flack for talking about this topic, which kind of sucks because we're trying to help people. Um, yeah, but what I would suggest, Juicy Goosey, to your friend who struggles with porn is, search on do search. Oh, check out fight the new drug. You got that, Juicy Goosey? Again, check that out. It's fightthenewdrug.com. Fightthenewdrug.com. That is a motivational program, like like kind of like what I do. Go to schools and they talk about porn. They talk about the science behind it. They talk about how it affects us. So that's a really, really cool resource. That's one resource. You could also just YouTube search, how to quit porn, or go on different forums like, NoFap communities, stuff like that. So there's a lot of resources out there already. So that's what I'd have to say for now. Hope that makes sense. Hamburger says Burbank is a suburb of LA, but it is pretty far from Hollywood because of LA traffic. I agree with you on that one. Let's see. In school, did you have a crush? Sage, yes, I did. I had many crushes when I was in like elementary, middle school, and high school. Well, elementary school, I had one crush. Middle school, I had, I think, three main crushes, but I also, I think as teenagers, we have a lot of hormones and we're just like really like, I mean, even past teenage years, like I had a lot of crushes. Like there's just a lot of attractive girls, like that. But yeah, I did have crushes. Raskin says, yeah, exactly. I love that. Respond instead of reacting. Couldn't have said it better. I didn't make that up myself, so I don't take credit for that. That's knowledge that has been passed down, from me. To me. Honey, good to see you on. Hope soccer's doing well for you. Let's see. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Life is good. I love this constant like opportunity to grow and develop ourselves, especially on days that aren't as great. It's not like 100%. Like today is one of those days that I didn't do everything according to plan, and I'm behind on my work that I was supposed to accomplish. So yeah, but it's all good. I hope you're doing well too. Phil Laura says, do you play Fortnite? I have played Fortnite before. I used to play it. I don't currently play it, but I am open to maybe sometime in the future. But I am very much trying to focus on my life. Yes, and building fulfillment and happiness in other ways. Saifu says, how do I overcome fear and laziness in life? These two things are constantly ruining my life and prevents me from pursuing a better life. Saifu, you are not alone with that one, 100%. So fear and laziness, those are like two really big things. Like what holds everyone back, all of us back in our lives? Fear holds a lot of us back. Like majority of like all human beings in the world, we don't do things because we are afraid of something. So okay, so there's two topics here: fear, and then you say laziness. There's a quote or this idea concept that I've heard, which is there is no such thing as laziness. It's okay, so there's no such thing as laziness. Okay, I'm going to address this one first because it's more simple. There's no such thing as laziness. It's just a lack of direction or motivation. Okay, so if you think you're lazy, you're not lazy. Okay, you just lack direction or motivation. That's all it is. Okay, in a way, laziness does not exist. Okay, this is just a little concept. Is that necessarily true? Maybe, maybe not. But I love this concept. Like it helps me shift. Like I don't see myself as a lazy person anymore because it's not about being lazy. It's about not having direction or not being motivated. I think that's all it is. All right. So that's number one. All right. Let's talk about fear. Fear is a big one. So how do you overcome fear? How you overcome fear is literally by doing it. Like that is, you can't overcome fear. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase it. The only way to overcome fear is by just doing it. That's it. Like if you are scared of public speaking, the only way you get over it is by starting to speak publicly. If you're afraid of heights, the only way to go over it is by doing things like, whatever, cliff jumping, skydiving, going on roller coasters. If you're afraid of spiders, the only way you're going to get over it is by playing with spiders. Like that's how you overcome fear, is by confronting it. And I mean, Sci-Fu, there's a bunch of these little phrases, like fear stands for, people say like false evidence appearing real, or face everything and run. That's the negative version of it. Or face everything and rise. So the point is, like, fear is not about not doing it. Fear is about looking at it and having the courage to be like, okay, this is really hard. I'm super scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like that's how you overcome it. It's not easy. It really, like, this is the difference between people who are like successful and not successful. It's that fear. If fears were easy to overcome, then everyone would be successful in a way. But they're not. It's a challenge. But what I'll tell you, one thing is, Sci-Fu, is once you start working on overcoming your fears, it becomes easier. It becomes easier to overcome your fears. Will you still feel that feeling of like anxiety? Yes, I still feel anxiety when things come up. But because I've pushed myself more than before, because I practice, it's easier for me to do things compared to the past. Like, yeah, like, yeah. I like, that's what I gotta say. It takes, in my opinion, it takes a lot of work to kind of continue to push ourselves past our fears. If you're interested in getting over fears, I recommend you check out, easiest way is check out the TED Talk or TEDx talk by Michelle Poler. Michelle, Poler. So like Pol, Poler. Okay. And just type in TEDx fear or overcoming fear, and you'll see it. So Michelle Poler, she's also a motivational speaker as well, or speaker. And she talks about how do you overcome fears. She did a project where for 100 days, she did one thing every single day that scared her, and she just did it. So, yeah, that's what I gotta say. Alrighty. Justin says, cool. I understand what you mean. To refresh your memory, we met online. It was about June. I joined your stream. I was over the age of 17 and will be with a 25-year-old, if that helps. I am over the age of 17 and will be with a 25-year-old. I see. Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, as long as you have like, an adult with you. Yeah, we'll talk more about it. Raskin says, have you created a brain world similar to your ideal society where you can make no wrongdoing or fail, disappoint others? I assume you have, but how has this helped you cope with tough situations? Hold on, let me reread this. Have you created a brain world similar to your ideal society where you can make no wrongdoing or fail / disappoint others? So, Raskin, what I'm hearing you say is what I'm hearing you say is have you ever like kind of envision a perfect ideal society where, like, in a way everything was perfect, exactly how you want it to be, even if like if it's a little bit dreamy, like, is that realistic? But have I ever thought about that? And I have thought about that. If that's what you're asking, I have thought about my ideal world life where there is no judgment. Wait, yeah, there is no judgment. There is just full acceptance of, people accepting each other for who they are, people accepting their religions, and yeah, just love. So I know it sounds very hippie, but yeah. Alrighty. All right, Justin says, interesting. I'd have to recommend that to my friend too. I have a friend who struggles with porn too. It really isn't healthy, and it is worse for your brain than most people think. Yeah. Again, for anyone or any friends or anyone who knows, struggles with porn addiction, I recommend checking out fightthenewdrug.com. Okay. There's a lot of cool resources on there. It's a very simple website to use. Yeah. All right, Sage says Sage will be back. Awesome. Voltage, Slippy, good to see you on. Honey, good to see you on again. Noskid says people should watch the video Theory for N. What is that? Alrighty, here. I watched Bird Box. It was weird. Have you watched it? I've never watched Bird Box. I am not familiar with what that is. I'm going to search that. Bird Box. When a mysterious force decimates the population, only one thing is certain. If you see it, you die. The survivor must now avoid coming face to face with an entity that takes the form of the worst fears. Oh, okay. Got it. So, in a way, it sounds like if you think it's, you got to face your fears. That sounds pretty intense. What's up, Face Nightfall? Face Nightfall says, are you going to upload a video about Crescent Elk? Because I was there and in the video, and at lunch recess, you said you would subscribe. LOL, just wondering. Let's see. Phase Nightfall. Alrighty. So I did not do a official vlog this time, like I did last time. All right. Phase, you're asking me to subscribe. You have 0 videos on your channel. I subscribe to you, but you got to get videos on your channel. How am I supposed to give shout outs to a channel that has no videos on it? Yeah. All right. Keanu says, riddle. I have many keys, but no locks. I have no space, but no room. I have space, but no rooms. You can enter, but you can't go out. What am I? I will tell you the answer after you guess. Keys, no locks. Space, but no room. You can enter, can't go out. All right, my guess, I don't think this is it. Keys. I'm gonna guess you're a piano. That sounds like it would be something like that because you said keys. What else has keys? But it's not an actual key. It could be a key like a tone. Music. Hold on. You have space, but no room. You can enter. You could also enter on a keyboard. Is it like a musical note? What is this? It's something key. I'm going to guess something related with music. I'm going to go with piano. All right. Juicy Goosey says, open to do 45 minutes of speaking in Utah. It's a long shot. What do you mean by that? I mean, I'm always open. Amber says, if I'm afraid of death, what should I do? Nice one. Is that a legit question? Let's see. If you're afraid of death, honestly, if that's a real question, if you're afraid of death, what should you do? Then I would say keep having conversations around death. Talk about it. What is death? Why should we be afraid of death? Talk to people about it. We can make that a new topic for a future live stream. Fears. We can talk about the fear of death. Why it's a valid fear. And I would almost say fearing death limits us and limits the way that we live our life too. But it's very valid too. We also need to be safe, and not jump off cliffs that are 200 feet high without any safety gear. Yeah. Saifu says, I'm mostly having issues with fear of trying, failure, and change. Saifu, that is those are common fears. You're definitely not alone with that. So fear of trying is like you said, it's a fear of failure. I get it. I have the fear of failure too. You know, fear of change, same thing. You know, as humans, we don't like change. We like to be comfortable. Uh, but failure and change are, by the way, failure is great. Failure and change are great things. You know, like the most successful people are the ones who fail fast and they continue to, they're not afraid to fail. They just keep going. Yeah. So there is, yeah, you know, embracing failure is not something I learned until more recently in my life. And I wish I would have learned that earlier. It is okay to fail. Like when I say fail, like let's say failing is, you know, I'm not saying like you should try to fail a class, not like that. Like failing is like failing, like getting rejected when you ask a girl out, or failing like you tried to interview for a job or position and you didn't get it and you tried again and you got rejected, and you know, like that's failure. It, like in my opinion, it's good to fail, because when you keep failing you start to realize it's not about counting like, oh, you know, I'm not good enough because I failed. No, failure means like it's an opportunity to realize that we can get better and we can keep going in a way. So yeah, that's it. Like it's okay. It's okay to not make the soccer team. It's okay to you know, be rejected by a girl. It's okay to not make it to the school of your dreams. You know, like failure in a way is like by the way, if you fail at something, it's never the end of the world. Like life always moves on. Okay? So life might seem like it's the end of the world, but it's not. Like we as human beings, we will constantly figure out the next step. You know, like if you end up getting second place on American Idol, you know, like you really want that, or you don't get into the Olympics like you wanted to, random examples, it's not the end of the world. You know, of course, those were our dreams, and that's like what we really want to do. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. You know, it's like you figure out another path. That's all. All right. Yeah. Alrighty. What is up? What is up? What is up? A keyboard. Ah, I got close to it. A keyboard. Wait, did I say keyboard? I said keys, something with a computer, enter key. I was close to it. Anyway, not quite. All right. Honey, do you have videos on your channel? I'm checking now. No videos, but you do get a subscriber. Hey, alrighty. All right. All right, Justin, incredible. Have a good night. Thanks for hopping on, and I will see you on Wednesday. Justin said he's hopping off. That's why I said that. Am I coming back to Foothill? Hamburglar, I am in the works of that with your. I've been reaching out to your activities director, but just waiting for a response. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Honey says, I am a loner. I don't got a Valentine. Is that sad? It depends how you want to see it. You know, it's okay. You're not alone in that. You know, you can yeah, it's okay. It's really okay. No faces. I approached a girl today. Turns out she didn't speak English very well, and the convo was awkward. That's okay. Keeps life interesting. Alrighty, here. Cool. So yes, Honey says, why do people ask to be their Valentine? Because they want to feel connected, and or it's just for fun. But I think people just want to be. They want to feel connected. They want to feel noticed, whatever it is. Yeah, I remember those days, being single for a very, very long time, being rejected. What if you get rejected? It's okay. You know, it happens. I've been rejected plenty of times in my life. What is a Valentine? A Valentine is usually it's just like a what is a Valentine? A Valentine is someone that typically, two people who like each other or just want to, you know, declare being Valentines for a day because it's cute. They do that. That's all. What is the meaning of life? You get to decide that for yourself, Keanu. We all get to decide that. All right. So, goodness, it is 9:15 right now. I didn't even answer the question. We've been so sucked into I didn't even answer the question of the day, which is how do you want your life to look like? But I'll answer at the end. And Hamburglar asks, what's the riskiest behavior you have ever partaken in? I'll give you a short version. Oh man, I'm getting tired. Let's see. Hamburglar, I'm gonna hold that question off to next time. All right. So if you wish, you could ask me that again. I don't want to take whatever 5 minutes or so more of talking about that story. But yeah, it's a funny story. But we'll do that on the future live stream. Okay. Yeah, I just want to wrap up soon because it's getting late. Yes. Alrighty. So what I want to say is I do want to wrap up today's live stream with the question, which is, how do you want to live your life? The idea is that, we all have our own life. I'm thinking about Hamburglar from Foothill or Honey and all my other friends here from Crescent Elk and from Georgia or wherever you live. Like, we all have our own, like, we're all in our own little world. When I go to speak at different schools, it's interesting to see that, like, what we know, we only know our surrounding. We only know our community around us unless we start to explore outside, So, for example, if I go to Crescent Elk, I see this community. Like, I see, like, in a way, community. Crescent Elk has a very specific, like, I just want to call it, like, it's like a small town vibe. It's like it's very easy to get influenced by the people around you. And when I say, how do you want to live your life? It's, in a way, just know that your life does not have to be like, like the people around you. You can expand. And it can also be the people around you too. Like, my point is, dream big, and don't limit yourself. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say. That here, I'm going to share this, and please don't take this the wrong way. But so growing up, I've always felt poor. And my mom is super cheap, super penny saver, clips coupons, always looks for deals. We never get anything full price because it was all about saving money. And so I always grew up with this mindset that we were poor and that we were always going to be poor. Anyway, recently I took my mom to kind of like a rich neighborhood, like in Orange County. And she's just like, oh my goodness, look at all these, rich homes, like they're so rich. And the whole time she kept saying, they're so rich, they're so rich, they're so rich. And I just noticed that because we grew up in a quote unquote poor environment, which isn't really true, but that's the mindset we had. We felt poor, that in a way I would feel poor for the rest of my life unless I started changing the way I thought. So as we drove in this rich neighborhood, she's like, oh my, look at all these rich homes. We're not like them. We're never going to be like them. That's her thought. I didn't say this out loud, but as I sat there in the car driving my mom, as she was saying, like, we're poor. We're not going to be rich. I literally sat there for the first time thinking, like, that that's easy. Like, being rich is not hard. It's like, don't get me wrong. Don't jump the gun yet. All right, hear me out here. My point is, today I had this weird like moment, like almost like this confidence that it's not that hard to be rich. Like, it is very possible. You just got to believe it. That's like step number one. Step number one is believing that you are capable of being rich. Okay. This is not a conversation about being rich, by the way. But my point is, like, we don't need to be our surroundings. We don't need to be poor. We don't need to be like held back in a way. So if there's something that you want in your life, like, how do you want to live your life? Like, you can do whatever you want. You don't need to be your friends. You don't need to be the people around you. You can still love your friends and people around you and still do your own life and be successful. Okay. So long story short, don't limit yourself. How do you want to live your life? If you want to, do something amazing, surround yourself with amazing people. It doesn't mean you got to forget about everyone else, but surround yourself with amazing people who are doing what you want to do. And what I found is, like, everything is really possible. Okay. And I hope I continue to push myself to be a better person and, be successful in that way. So in a way I could show up, because right now, all I am right now, I'm just talk, until I get there. And in ways, mentally, I am getting there, which is awesome. So, yeah, things could change. Okay. Hopefully that was supportive. I have a feeling that you all were just talking back and forth in the chat. Alrighty. Noah Garcia, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Alrighty. Let's see. What kind of jobs are good to do part-time, which are not tiring? That depends. What do you want to do? Onathox, that's like, what do you want to do? And it also depends on the company. It's weird. Like, there are some jobs, Onathox, it's just one of those like random things you got to go out there and search. It's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell, because I know there's a lot of like summer jobs where you just sit there and there's not much you have to do. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. But No Face says book selling as an option. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not too sure to the answer to that one. Alrighty. So with that being said, I am going to hop off right now. And yeah, our next live stream will be on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, California time, same time as usual, in 2 days from now. Everyone, I want to wish you a good night. I want to say thank you for being here. And most importantly, keep pursuing your dreams. Again, don't let your dreams be memes. Don't let your surroundings, tell you that you can't do it. And I'm just going to throw this random idea out there. Do you believe that you can be a millionaire? I think you can. And my point is, if you don't feel like you can be a millionaire, by the way, I don't think being a millionaire is that hard. That's my opinion. I don't think being a millionaire is that hard. I just throw that out like that random phrase because, people care about money for whatever reason. But I think it's very possible. I think people just limit themselves. I limited myself for such a long time. I never believed in myself. Like, I struggled so much in believing in myself for so many years, and I didn't know if I could ever get over it. I didn't know if I could ever believe I was worth anything. And mentally, I feel a lot more confident with myself. So my point is, if you feel like you're struggling with feeling like you could be a millionaire, a random example again, just know that you can do it. Like, really, it's like, it just takes practice and pushing and shifting your mindset. Yeah, that's all. I don't know how to I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's just like that. That's all. Like you just got to believe in yourself. This is not BS. This is like that's all. Like it starts with believing in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself and you don't think that it's possible to be successful or rich or whatever it is, like just know that when you work on it enough, it will eventually happen. Like this is no joke. It's crazy. Like I'm just talking. I'm talking too much. It's crazy. Like my mindset has shifted for myself. You know, I never thought I would ever have like a think I would never be poor. I always thought poor is who I am, but that's not true. Yeah. Anyway, I'm done talking. Okay. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a great night and hopefully see you on Wednesday. If not, have a great week and I will see you soon. Take care and sleep well too. Okay. Good night. Bye-bye.